Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer. I'm the owner of the Hermit's Path Metaphysical Shop at Langford Station in Victoria, BC. I'm here with TJ Milne. Did I say that correctly?
Almost, TJ
Almost.
Milne.
Milne,
Yes.
sorry. I was like, oh, it's a 50-50 chance there. Otherwise, Tonya, I suppose is your proper name. And do
Yes,
you
and most people call me TJ actually,
Okay,
so
perfect. I was just
that's
about to ask
perfect.
that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, TJ, you are the creator of our beautiful dance oracle deck. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. First off, I just want to say thank you so much. And yes, the Hermit's Path is the first store in BC that is carrying Thoughtful Journey Oracle deck, which is a little bit of a labor of love, but also my passion project that I created for 4 years. And the idea first sparked when I was chatting with my best friend, actually, Joseph Savillo. And I had always wanted to create my own personal deck. And he had said to me, well, you have many career photos from your dance career. So why don't you create a dancer deck? Because we haven't seen one out there like that. So that's how the idea sparked for that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And that's what caught my eye to the deck so quickly is I've never there's a lot of oracle decks out there.
Yes, yes.
But just like the illustration's so vibrant and stunning, and I'm not a dancer, but I certainly appreciate it, and it's just yeah. um so how did your background as a professional dancer influence the way that you designed and wrote the deck? I guess because it comes with a little book as well.
Yeah, I would say there was a huge influence in that because I was able to pull images from my dance career photos throughout. And then I collaborated with a stunning artist in the UK called, her name is Kerry Slack, and she primarily paints dancers, ballet dancers. So how we met was I just put in hashtag watercolor ballerina because I knew I wanted that whimsical feel to kind of go with the writing of the booklet. And her artwork popped up and it caught my eye. And just on a whim, I messaged her. She had told me she actually had no idea what an oracle deck was. She did her research. And I knew the moment we came on Zoom together for the very first time, I loved her energy. I loved her excitement about the project. And she really, really added a lot of magic to it. Like, for instance, I have one card here, which is the love card. And the original image here, I was wearing black in the photo. The dancer was wearing black. And she added a little touch to it because green goes with the heart chakra and it's the love card. So she's added her little magic in that way throughout the deck. So she was the perfect person to collaborate with.
Oh, I love that she did her little extra like Easter egg research in that because yeah, like as soon as you mentioned the heart chakra, I was like, oh, that's such yeah. I didn't make that connection by looking at the card, but it totally makes sense with the pairing of the love card. So yes, no, that's
Yeah,
amazing that she's able to do that.
yeah.
And so how does the concept of life dance, which is something that you've described somewhere, translate into the imagery and the messaging of the cards?
Yes, I love this concept and I think it works really well with my deck because life dance or dancing through life, I believe it's sort of like we all are in one big performance or one big life dance throughout. We can each choose our own way that we want to dance through it. Through life we will meet different partners, we will dance through happy moments, harder moments, dance with different people. So yeah, it's just a concept that I've sort of added in my own personal life as well with the deck. And I just think if we keep on dancing through life, taking that next step, we never know where it might lead and it might surprise us in the best of ways.
Oh, that's so beautifully said.
Thank you. I hope we dance together one day.
Oh, you don't want to see me do that.
Matter any moves.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So then speaking of that, then what was the process of translating dance, the movements into the watercolor imagery? Was there any like standout breakthroughs or surprises?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question for me because, like we were talking about right before we started this interview, I've definitely expressed myself through dance, but through painting, for me, I'm very good at stick figures. So I kind of gave that part of the project
Okay.
to Kerry. And I think what was so wonderful about both of us collaborating together was the fact that she could really look at the photos of each dance photo that I presented to her. She could feel the emotion, she could feel the form, and we paired those really well with the writing that I had presented her. So it was definitely an effort on both ends, because she's looking at the dance photos, not knowing where these moments took place in my dancing career. So it was beautiful to kind of have a different perspective where she would say, oh, actually, I think this one would go really well because of this, that, and the other. And so I loved having her advice and her eyes on that, because she could see it in a different way that I could see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then just out of curiosity, what made you decide to pick the cards that you did? Like in terms of the themes or the words that you have in the book.
Yeah. So for some, like for instance, like this one here is the heel
Yeah.
card. And we loved picking this one because the dancer is leaping high and she's breaking free, if you can see here, from the poison ivy that is holding her back. So I love that powerful thought of just breaking free from what you do not need in life anymore. So it's kind of moments like that. Like heel, you could pick a softer dance pose, but at the same time, we wanted something that was powerful,
Yeah.
and then we added the poison ivy breakthrough. Or for instance, I could show you another one, like here is the dance card. And of course, you can see the dancer is dancing. But I remember this specific day, Kerry emailed me and she said, what is your favorite song? And one of my favorite songs is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. And so she added the score behind the dancer of What a Wonderful World. So it's little things like that that we kind of looked at the pose, we saw that it could fit, and then matching the writing with some extra little sparkle pixie dust there in the back of the card.
Oh, okay. So you have your image first, and then you kind of decipher what adjective would suit that. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
That's kind of how we worked. It was not how I intended the project sort of to go, but I had run into a little bit of crossroads of I had the writing and the idea of what I wanted for the Oracle deck, and then it changed to the dancer image, and then from there we kind of picked and chose what worked best.
Cute. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
And then
Thank you.
so then I have to ask, which cards are your favorites?
Okay, so I have two. I picked two. It was
Oh.
really hard, but I
I bet,
picked
yeah.
two.
That's why I was like,
Okay, so this one here, this is the light card. And
oh.
originally, when we were going to go for the cards, we weren't going to add like a lot of the background. We kind of wanted it all uniform. But I love that Kerry added a couple of the cards with this very intricate background. And this is one of my favorite moments in my professional career. It's when I was performing with the House of Dancing Water in Macau. So that's like a Cirque du Soleil show. And the stage was completely water. And this moment here is right before the intensity of the show. I'm feeling a lot of nerves, and the water sprays up in the air and it just falls on you. And I took that moment on stage. Yeah, I took that moment on stage to just really tell myself, like, to calm the nerves and to really appreciate the moment of where I was at. So this one for me is a sentimental one, but I think it's also very beautiful to look at. And you can see that there's a lot of fireflies in the background, which is why we chose this one for light. Because a fun fact about fireflies is that the tempo of how they show their light is what attracts their mate. And so for me, I think that's a beautiful thing to think about in life, is when we actually have the courage to shine our own light from within, we will attract those people on our life dance or life journey that we're supposed to meet. So that's my first favorite one, is light there.
Oh, that's a high bar there.
Thank you. And then my second one is, of course, the one that we chose for the image for the box, Transform. And this one is really sentimental to me as well, because I love that the dancer is sort of still in her cocoon phase, which is kind of what I felt when I was creating this deck, because it was a 4-year long kind of process. But then when Kerry painted the wings on the top of the dancer, I received this card when we were talking about it, and my jaw dropped to the ground. And I told her, I absolutely love this one because at that moment, it really made me feel like, this project and what we're working towards, the Oracle deck can take flight. So for me, this one is a little bit sentimental, but I think it's also a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful card to receive and look at. So those are
Yeah.
my two favorites.
Oh,
Did you
that's
have
nice.
a favorite in the deck? May I ask?
Oh, well, okay. So on behalf of my shop neighbor, Natalie Serenito Candle Company, so she immediately brought this deck. She's like, yes, she just really spoke to her. And so she's been pulling a card every single day. Um, and she pulled Courage like
Okay.
5 days in a row or something like that. And and it was laughable almost. The fact that she got the card. So I was like, no, stop it. It was really speak to her. Anyway, so on behalf of Natalie, we're gonna say courage.
Yes,
Because
thank you.
it was an experience for me too, because of things that were happening in her own life that it spoke to us, and a relationship that I have with her in particular, just it helped bond us to the cards.
So beautiful.
But
And
it's a beautiful card.
I think I remember you telling me that she was the first customer for the
Yes.
deck
Oh
when
yeah,
you
I didn't even have
received
it out on
them.
the shelves yet. She's like, I'm buying it. I'm like, I'm okay, sure. It's so
Amazing.
cute.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that. I love
So,
that. That's super cool.
um, so you had I'm gonna just kind of deviate slightly here. You
Yeah.
mentioned that it took like 4 years for you to create this deck. Is that I've never made an Oracle deck. Is that a normal process, or was that something? Was there like hiccups, or were you just really trying to like finite the details of the art?
Yeah, I think when I started this project, my why for creating the project was just that I wanted to share the art, the writing. I had found that, meditation and oracle cards every single morning helped me in my moments on stage, helped me in my moments in life. It was a big part of my process of my day. So I wanted to create a project where I could pass love and guidance to anyone that would choose the deck or that was attracted to the deck. So I never wanted to rush that process. It wasn't
Mm.
about the business. It wasn't about how many decks I could sell or getting my name out there. And what I loved about Kerry was she was right on the same page. I think as an artist, it's really difficult to just, get all of that artwork out, especially because she created 46 original illustrations. And I wanted her to have the freedom to really feel the dance pose and feel the words and put it all together in that moment. I think if I would have
Mm.
rushed it a bit, we would have probably had still beautiful images, but I don't think it would have had those fine little details that I love so much when I pull the cards.
Mm.
And that was one of my things when I created was there's no time limit. I will always try to do all of the little tasks that keep moving forward, that keep stepping forward, but I never wanted either of us to feel rushed in that
Yeah,
sense.
that's
And
good.
so we just took our time and that's how it happened. I'm
Okay.
sure others could do it a little bit faster, but I was enjoying in the moment.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes these things take as long as they need to, right, in order
Yes.
for you to really hone in. So that's why I was curious. Was this
Yeah.
intentional, um or if there was a series of events, because sometimes that's the case too.
That
So
happens too,
yeah.
definitely. I mean, we did have COVID kind of in that time. So
Oh,
I love to say
true.
that this
Yeah.
is, my
Your
COVID
COVID
baby
baby.
in the way. In a way,
Worst things.
some people got dogs, some people actually had kids. This
Yes.
is my COVID baby.
I love that.
Thank you.
My birthday sparkle bag. Um,
Exactly.
so your the imagery, so I'm not a dance professional, you are. I noticed that all of the dance moves seem a bit varied in the style, I guess I should say. So was it like in your professional dance career and or the cards, is there a consistency in the style of dance, or is it an intuitive, or is it a varied mix because that's what you do?
That's a really great question. And actually, as you're talking, I'm sort of thinking how that came about, but there was not a specific kind of feeling or form to it. And I would say really cool that you noticed that throughout the deck, that it wasn't just ballet,
Yeah,
it was a
that, yeah,
little bit of mix of
yeah.
everything. I would say it was probably just the dance career photos that I had to
Mm,
choose from that we could paint. But also it was just kind of specific moments throughout my life. And I would say some of the cards and the matching word were chosen in that moment because of maybe what I felt in that moment. So it
mm,
is a little bit intuitive in that way. And I hope that through the artwork and the illustration that the person feels that in the moment.
mm,
There's one card in here that is trust, where it's a partnership or a pair of a
mm,
lift in that moment. And so that card is that perfect for that one because you're trusting each other to sort of lift each other up in that moment.
mm.
So that's sort of how we chose in that way. But I love that you noticed that detail, that it didn't always follow the same characteristics.
Yeah, well, there was some cards, and I don't have any examples in my brain at the moment, but
Yeah.
just kind of flipping through them, that I'm like, that doesn't look like a ballet move, but I'm not the
Yeah.
professional player, so I was just
Yes.
curious. That's why I thought about that.
Yeah.
So what would be one question you would hope every reader asks themselves when they're working with your deck?
Okay. That's a really good one. I
From
think,
character.
yeah. I think when using the deck, I would love if they could ask, what should I embrace on my journey, or what should I
Mm,
embrace on my dance through life? Because I feel like if you choose to use this deck daily, monthly, or at different points in your life, the deck will share with you what you might need on that journey. And it's going to be ever changing. Or maybe, for instance, like your friend, you'll receive the same card for a while as a simple reminder of where you're at to
yeah.
need, like your friend needed courage in that moment in her life. And so I'm hoping that with this deck, it will pass love when you're able to ask, what do I need to embrace in
Mm.
my own journey?
And
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, with thoughtful journey, where did that name come from?
I love that you asked that. Okay, so I sort of wanted a catchy name for the deck, but like you said, there are so many Oracle decks out there, right? And a lot of them are whimsical and magical and that sort of feel. So actually, my friend and I, we had a moment where we sat down and had a coffee. And I thought, well, what if we use my name like TJ and kind of make something come of that?
Okay.
And right away, she said, well, why don't you say thoughtful journey? And then it's like kind of collaborates together and works well with the
Yeah, it does.
dancing through life journey. So that is how the name came
Oh,
about, is by using the initials there.
nice. So that's fun. And
Thank you.
it sounds like it just kind of like that's it. That's the one. It just kind of came to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
love
even
that.
think. I was like, that's it. Okay, let's go with it. I didn't even have to think twice about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of very similar journey to how I came across the Hermit's Path name. It just, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Do you
it.
want to share?
Cool.
I would love to hear. Do you have time to share how you came across with your name?
I woke up one day, honestly, it's not a very complicated story. I tell people all the time, like, the Hermit Tarot card has never truly spoken to me.
Mm-hmm.
On a personal level, like my card is the Queen of Pentacles. That is my card. But the Hermit specifically has never spoken to me. And then I just woke up one day and I was like, the Hermit's Path. Yeah.
Amazing. And you felt it and you were just like
Yeah,
so sure.
yeah, it was
I
just
love
like
that.
100%. I was like, that's the one. And then I kind of ran it by a couple of people. They're like, yeah, that sounds nice. And then I kind of thought, I'm like, oh, the lantern, you're kind of walking through your journey, and
Yes.
not the hermit as in kind of enclosure, but introspective journeys, right? So
Yes.
we're looking to explore outward. Anyway, so yes, I
I love
understand. It just
that.
kind of
Oh,
comes
that's
to you.
so
You're like, okay,
cool.
cool.
When
It
you
doesn't
know,
have to
you
be
know,
complicated.
right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yes, exactly. We don't have to sit there in a dark room and hope that it
Oh,
comes to us. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that to me says that this was meant to be when it just happens and you're like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I love
Let's
that.
not
That's so
overthink
cool.
it.
Exactly.
um what what would be, so I'm just curious about the I love the creative process in creating something. So if, well, we've already established there's a 500,000 Oracle decks out there, but what would be your piece of advice if somebody wanted to create their own Oracle or Tarot deck?
Yes. Okay, so probably the piece of advice I would give is just trust and enjoy the process. Like we had a little bit touched on before, I tried not to rush any part of this process. I definitely did my research and, the printing company and designing the box and the shipping and a little bit of marketing and all of that stuff while the artwork was being done. But I think it's just trust and enjoy the process. And then also what we had touched on before is just also trusting that what you feel in your heart, the passion behind this project of what you're creating, sometimes you can think like, why am I doing this? Can I really do this? Can this deck really take flight? Just trusting that you have that dream for a reason and it will come to light in some way. It might not be tomorrow. It might take 4 years, but just trusting that that dream in your heart, you can make it come to life. So that would be my advice if you want to create something tangible in that way.
Amazing. And so you don't have to answer this, but
that's okay.
Did you have any like major snafus or anything, or like, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Because, once your head in, I'm one of those people, I'm all or nothing. So I'm like, head in, we're doing this. But of course, over the time, there was like, oh, wow, okay, I've got to ship this many decks. Where am I going to ship them to? Like, where am I going to store them? How am I going to even share with people what I've created? Because I'm not doing this through an editing company, I'm self-promoting. So it was just taking one task at a time. And kind of how we met. It was, I emailed you on a whim. I was so accepting if that deck wouldn't fit in your store, if it would. And I knew right away from our emails and communication that your vibe was just exactly where I had hoped Thoughtful Journey Oracle deck would be. So I'm so thankful for that. So I just trust that the people will come and I will find little ways to share the deck in that way. So that was definitely a hiccup, was kind of maybe my mental thoughts of how am I going to do this in a way. Well, but I kept pushing forward.
I appreciated that what did they say? You shoot your shot.
Your shot, yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, no, the way you approached me, like via email with the photos, having like your website and stuff like that really kind of gave me more to work with, so I could kind of go and explore myself and kind of find out more about you as your professional dancer career and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. And then also finding out you're Canadian, which is a huge thing because that's my priority in my shop. And yeah, I was just like immediately gravitated towards the imagery. I love the gold foil edges. I am a sucker for gold foil edges.
And it's so funny when I was doing, when I was creating the deck, like here, those gold foil, it is the thing that most people say when they open the deck, they love that gold foil. Yeah. But I have to tell you, I was originally going to put purple on the side because I thought it would like sort of tie everything together. And it was my artist, Kerry Slack, that said, I think the gold would really complement the artwork. Yeah. So she's the one to give credit for that. Yeah. But
it helps kind of almost frame, because you've got like the cloudy space kind of galaxy aesthetic on the other side, but it almost frames it even though you don't visibly see it, if that makes sense. It just kind of closes it in a bit. Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, shoot, I was going to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
I got so excited.
I got totally brain farted. Can you tell us a little bit about your dance career? What are you up to? Where can we find you? Are you in some like fancy performances?
I would love to share a little bit. So originally I started in classical ballet. So that was my main love, was classical ballet. And from that strong technique, it sort of allowed me to branch out into the musical theater world and the Cirque du Soleil world. So I was really lucky to work for a children's musical theater company that's a Canadian company here. It was called Koba Entertainment. And after that, I received an opportunity to go to Macau, China, to perform in the House of Dancing Water. So I lived there for 7 years, and that was really exciting to dance in water, feel that element, that added element to the dance, because I was so used to just dancing on a flat stage.
Mm.
So that was really excited to add the element of water, as well as a little bit of circus as well for that. And then after COVID, I came back to Canada to kind of begin this business with Thoughtful Journey Oracle cards. And now I do my business a little bit part time, and I'm working for Disney Cruise Lines. So I'm performing on the Disney cruise ships. I was recently just traveling through the Alaska itinerary here in the summer. So yeah, that was a really, really exciting. So we do the Disney shows like Frozen, Aladdin, that sort of thing. And I love it. It's musical theater. It's kind of totally different than circus, totally different than ballet, but it all sort of ties together. And what's really special is artists are very open to kind of the Oracle deck, even if they're not familiar with this tool. So sometimes if we have some free time, we will go to an area on the deck where we're outside in the sun. We will pull an Oracle card and we'll do a nice yoga class together just to keep us in shape and ready for our performances. So that's been a nice little thing to share as I'm performing.
Oh, it's a nice, a nice plug opportunity.
Yes.
If you like this deck, it is now available.
But many times people are like, oh, I really needed to hear, really needed to pull that card today. And for me, that was everything I need to create my project, right? I walk away from that. I'm like, I'm so glad that resonated with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you located? So you mentioned the geez, Alaskan, sorry.
That's okay.
Alaska cruises. So we're in Vancouver at the moment.
Yes. So yes, actually, I just came home on Monday. So now I'm here for a little bit. I'll be doing some teaching here. So here is Ontario. Home base where my family is just outside of Toronto in Kitchener-Waterloo. So I'm planning to do some vendor shows around the area for the couple of weeks. And then just enjoy some time with family. So that's sort of home base. But yes, I will be joining the Disney Cruise Line again for next season. So I will be back in the Vancouver area in the summertime.
Amazing. And what would be the best way for people to connect with you?
I would love if you wanted to follow on Instagram, and my Instagram is @oracle_TJ, or my website is tjmilne.com. You can find it there. Yeah.
And did you have any last notes that you'd like to part to the world?
Part to the world. I think I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking this time with me. Thank you for believing in my project, and thank you for having my deck in your gorgeous little shop that I hope one day I can come and see and do a twirl with you there. I'm just so grateful to make your connection and to feel your beautiful energy. So I would just like to part with a thank you.
Thank you very much.